What's up, everybody? Chef Henry Dudley, also known as Chef Hent Dogs, also known as @Chef Henry Dudley on Instagram. You're now tuning in to Chef Gang Radio, aka the Chef Gang Podcast. Really quick, a little bit about myself. 24-year veteran in the culinary industry. I've been a sous chef, executive chef, corporate executive chef, food and beverage director. You name it, I've probably done it in this game. And we're here today, and we're going to be here doing these podcasts to talk some real life, real raw shit just about the restaurant game itself. The good, the bad, the ugly, you know, catering, everything. You know what I'm saying? We're here to first explore, and then we're going to inform, and then we're going to educate. My co-hosts, I'm going to swing it to them. Chef.
You don't know my name?
You gotta tell the world. You gotta introduce yourself.
That was a very good introduction, Chef Henry Dudley. Thank you. Hey everybody, my name is Chef Kimberly VanKline, also known as Passion for the Palate, also known as @Chef Kim VanKline on Instagram. Basically, I'm a caterer, aka the Catering Queen, is what I've been called. I'm the person that you want to come to for high-end, upscale cocktail parties, weddings, things of that nature. That's what my specialty is in. I love taking very, very unique classical, classic meals, entrees, and flipping them into small bites with big flavor. That's what I'm known for. I'm very happy to be a part of this podcast because it's been a long time coming. But you know, as you know, everything has to be done in this divine time. And so I feel the time is now because there's a lot of things out here in this culinary industry that basically just sickens me to my stomach, to say the least. And
no pun intended.
No pun intended. And I love the millennials, and I love what some of them are doing. But some of y'all need to get your little throat snatched up and bring it back to where it needs to be come from. Some of y'all ain't got no home training. So we're going to take this podcast and we're going to just make it a platform for everybody to come in, feel free to voice their opinions, give their feedbacks, and just help, you know, get this black chef community back where it needs to be. I'm going to now over to our next boy, which is Ryell, and he's going to take it from here.
Yeah, well, thank you all. Thank you so much. I'm Ryell Bradley. I'm a restaurant manager. I'm a general manager at this point at the Granite City Food and Brewery in the National Harbor. For those who don't know, come see me. I've been in this industry for about 8 to 10 years, on and off. So I know the ins and outs. I live for, you know, the details in it all.
Right.
I'm very corporate restaurant-esque, so I know all the ins and outs. It's just what I live for. That's what my passion is. It's definitely the restaurant life. So just here to add my insights from that and, you know, shake it up a bit.
Cool.
Shake it up.
So we ain't here to just have fun. We're here to talk some shit and to get down to the bottom of some stuff. But at the same time, I want to make sure that, you know, we are educating the population about the restaurant game. You know what I'm saying? You can pick up your phone at any time and go on Instagram, go on Facebook, and you're going to see a whole lot of shit. Right? Being a certified chef my entire career, I've seen a lot of food, and I'm classically trained, so I know food supposed to be like this. At least that's what I was told, right? That's how I was trained. But you see all type of crazy going on right now. You see chefs that are just selling food online. You see guys that are, you know what I'm saying, that the presentations ain't looking good. People just think that they're totally abandoning the whole professional side of cooking. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is going on these days? How y'all feeling about that?
It's almost like it's not a craft sometimes, you know? It's like it's just a job.
Right.
You know, everyone thinks they can do it. It's not a hard job.
A lot of soldier boys, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking soldier boys in the game today. Everybody feel like they can do it.
Agreed.
You know, I feel it just took a left when social media got really big. I feel like social media gave people a platform. Like, you know, it's a place where trolls can come and talk shit behind the phone, and you don't know who they are. You know, you got a lot of people that's out there that think they can cook. You know, and I go back to, like, this is the parents' fault. Like, if you put your child in a contest, or you think that your child can sing, or they can, and then, you know, they're the next Michael
Everybody
Jackson,
don't get a trophy, right?
Beyonce. I'm like, come on, people. You know your child. You know that little motherfucker can't sing.
Right.
And you put them out there on mainstream media, doing these YouTube videos, and that's going to do more damage to their self-esteem than anything else.
Right.
You got to be honest with your kids. And I feel what we see out here right now on social media when it comes to the food and the culinary industry is disrespectful. It's just blatant disrespect. Like, you got to look at where's the passion. There's no passion. Like, I'm tired. If I see another motherfucking lobster tail fried and another crab fried in the shell on mac and cheese and all this gravy on it, I'm going to shoot myself. Like, real talk. Like, that's not real cooking. Like, real cooking comes from the heart. How we said when you do gumbo, you just said this. You know good gumbo. You make good gumbo. You make good gumbo. It's a process to that. There's no shortcuts in a real, authentic gumbo. There's no shortcuts.
It's love.
And and I feel all the social media gives people these so-called, and I'm gonna call it this, IG chefs. And don't get me wrong here. I happen to be classically trained. So have you. I don't know if you know. So you didn't go to culinary school, right? But he manages the whole restaurant by himself, and he's really good at it. But what I will say is that you don't have to be classically trained. It all starts with the love in your heart. And it all starts with passion. I don't believe school can teach you how to cook.
Yes.
I believe school can teach you technique. It can teach you the lingo of the kitchen. It can teach you how to run a restaurant, hospitality, all these things. Cooking comes from within.
So let's talk about culinary school. So I went to culinary school in the late 90s, right? Right out of college, did my own thing with the record industry for a while. Went to culinary school because actually I didn't find cooking found me. You understand what I'm saying? I never had any intent on being a chef. Cooking was a side hustle to me, just for the simple fact that coming from my family was second nature. I was good at it.
Right. What do you mean cooking found you?
Meaning that I did not seek out to be a professional chef. You know what I mean? With my grandmother teaching me how to cook and being a latchkey kid and cooking on my own and so forth for survival purposes, you get what I'm saying? It wasn't in me to be like, yo, I'm going to grow up and be a chef one day. You understand what I'm saying? I wanted to be a record company executive. That was my thing. You know what I'm saying? And then I was doing the record company job during the day, and I was supplementing my income at night and cooking in a restaurant. It so happened I was good at it. The chef convinced me that this is what I should do with my life. I went to culinary school part-time. I've been rocking with it ever since. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it found me. I didn't find it. I wasn't looking for it. It's kind of like falling in love with a girl that you never thought you was going to fall in love. They just dropped out this air one day, and you're like, oh shit, now I'm in love. You get what I'm saying? That was kind of the same thing with that.
But did you feel the same way? Did you feel that that's what you be doing with your life? When he felt that about you, when he came?
Nah, I didn't. It took me some time to really figure it out and look at my hands and look at what I was presenting and what I was doing and look at what other people was doing. I was on the same level as them. So it's just a natural progression for me. And it's culinary school just fine-tuned all that. It taught me, I was cooking, but I didn't know why. When I got to culinary school, I learned why. If that makes sense. I learned technique. Sense, yep. I learned how to do this. I learned, a process of how to get from butter to butter sauce. I learned how to get from other sauces and derivatives and so forth, so on and sauce and da-da-da. So with that said, nowadays it seems like culinary schools are just turning and burning kids out. It's so for profit now.
And giving them false hope.
Yeah, it's so for profit now. They're giving them probably half the education that they gave us and turning them out in the world. And these kids can't cook for shit. So they go into these, this is my opinion, they go into these restaurants and they're working, they're getting their asses kicked on the line. They don't want to do that kind of work. They don't want to put that type of work into it. And then they come out, they go on IG and take the little bit that they learned in the kitchen, and all of a sudden they chef such and such, and chef this and chef that. When all along they just glorified line cooks.
Right.
They were line cooks that learned a little bit, and they jumped out the window. So, am I being unfair in that assessment? Or
no. How long did it take you to really feel comfortable saying that you were a chef? After culinary school, I'm saying. How many years do you feel it took you to really say and be confident in that knowing that you owned your craft at that point, to say, you know what, now I can call myself a chef?
It took me some time because I felt, because of the way I came through the industry, you had to earn that title. Just because you went to school for it doesn't mean, like, you don't go to law school, then you walk out of law school.
And all of a sudden you're an
attorney.
You're a doctorate, and you're like, bam.
Right, you understand what I'm saying? So it took time for me to get to that point. When I first got my first business card that said Henry Dudley, sous chef, to me, okay, I'm a chef now. You understand what I'm saying? And I had to work my way to that. Nowadays, like, people will just go online and call themselves anything. Right. So my concern is, like, you know, I'm gonna throw this question to y'all. What is that doing to the industry? That's the first question. And the second question is, can we blame the internet chefs for what they do? Is it a valid hustle?
I think for me, so my story is different. So I was always corporate. I didn't go to culinary school until I was in my late 30s, approaching 40. But I always loved to cook. I was always that girl that you came to my classroom, or you came, to my house. I was cooking. I was doing pans back in the day out my house. Lenox Terrace. I was selling fried fish and chicken and ribs and all this kind of stuff. Always loved and was really good at cooking. So I can always cook because I had a grandmother that can cook. And I was taught that at a very young age. When I went to school, reality set in. Because now I'm coming from a 6-figure income in the corporate world, being in my job for over 15 years, to now I want to be a chef. But when I made that transition, I wasn't ready for such the salary.
Right.
So
this was career change for you.
Career change.
This was later on in life. Right. This wasn't straight out of high school. I want to be a chef.
I already established myself. I had bills up the ass at this point, and I had to make a decision. Like, okay, I'm going to do this. I was smart in the fact that, and got lucky in the fact, and thank you God, that he gave a package. So the package that we got, I had so many years in the company, I got a really nice, hefty package that I can kind of, come out, leave the job, resign with a nice package, nice 401k, set that aside, paid my rent up for a year, and now I'm going to dive into this culinary world and get my ass kicked. I did internship. I started going to the Hamptons, cooking. I worked this place, that place. I learned very early on, I did not want to be in a restaurant. I learned that very early on.
Come on, you didn't want that smoke?
Very early on.
Come on, man.
No.
Come on.
I worked for John George, right? And I worked at a place he had named JoJo's, and it was in Manhattan, it was in Lexington Avenue, it was in the Brownstone, really high-end French fine dining at its finest, right? The sous chef there, West Indian dude, was just fucking disrespectful, and I'm trying to work the line and do my job, but if he made another sexist joke or said something sideways at his face, I was gonna punch him in his fucking mouth. So it got to the point that it got so bad that I spazzed it in the kitchen and I cursed his ass the fuck out. And I knew once I did that, I couldn't go back. So it was fine. And then I was just like, you know what, Kim, what speaks to you? You guys are the kind of person that you are. I know me, I'm creative, right? I like being creative. I like things getting pretty, this, that, and the third. So I said, what could you do? This culinary, like there's more than one job in this whole industry. It doesn't have to be an executive chef of a restaurant.
Right.
It could be anything. So I started looking into private chefing and being a personal chef. Catering. So that's how I ended up where I'm at now.
Right.
And that's what spoke to me, and that's been my journey, and I've been very successful at it. What was your other question?
So, I mean, we were talking about culinary schools, but also we talking about
IG chefs.
Like the IG chefs. So taking your experience and like later on in life, you was like, yo, I feel like this is what I want to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how different is that from what IG chefs are doing now?
Right. So when I went to culinary school and got out and was doing my thing and traveling, going to Hamptons and cooking for all these people, then started doing a couple of Food Network shows and this and the third, IG had just come out. Something had just come out. It wasn't really something that's out there that you can go in there and put your food up there and talk smack and get feedback and this, that, and the third. So then when me and you met, that's when that wave started.
Right.
Like, there was a IG page called Cooking for Bay. And he was just putting...
Cooking for Bay is still rocking, too.
Right.
Shout out to Cooking for Bay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't come up here and show your face, you know what I mean, to the Chef Gang Radio podcast.
Exactly. Because this dude's page is funny. Because he posted stuff that people put, and in their mind,